In this lesson, we'll begin using our clean plate and creating a rotoscope for the zombie's legs. Okay, so to get started, we are going to want to merge together our zombie live action and our clean plate. So let's go ahead and we'll grab a merge node. So just hover over this area here and you can hit the M key. That'll bring in a merge for you. And I want for the zombie live action to be on the B pipe. So we'll plug that B pipe into the Rotopaint node. And I'm going to plug my viewer into the merge just like that. And then we'll grab our A pipe and plug that into the read. Now what this is going to do with the operation being over is it's going to place the poster board clean plate on top of this. And so at first you might say, well, that's not really what I want. But once we create our Rotopaint, it's going to reveal this perfectly. And by setting it up this way, we'll be able to use that rotoscope to reveal everything else that we want to show. So now what we can do is use a rotoscope that we're going to be creating to reveal our zombie right over here. Now we also want to reveal what we painted up here at the top. So let's drop in another Rotopaint node. I'm going to come up here. We'll drop in the Rotopaint and let's just get this in position here. And I'm going to plug my viewer in right there. And we'll drop the Rotopaint on in between the merge and the background, okay? And come up here and we'll grab our Bezier and just really quickly I'm going to make this kind of just a rough rotoscope just like that. And you might say, well, this doesn't look right because that's white, but if we turn this to black by coming over here to the Rotopaint and turning this down, you see that reveals what we painted over up here. So that's why the poster board's gone. Now at this point we probably want to move a little bit because you can see that it's showing our zombie. So we need to move this up here. And also you notice that this line for these dots is kind of in a different place. So we also are going to later need to transform our clean plate with that tracking data that we got. But first I want to finish up this rotoscope. So let's come in here and we'll create another Bezier, and I'm just going to kind of make this a rough version here just like that, and we'll make this black as well. And what we need to do now is come in here and start making this a little cleaner to go around the zombie where his legs are, so you can see how those points are being added there. Now you would actually want to do it from this direction because that's going to cover up his legs just like this. So you see kind of how that's working. And we'll leave this totally open so we can see everything on this side over here. Okay, so that's getting a little bit closer. Now we can go in and start to actually maybe add a few points or edit them. So that one's going to kind of go in right there. And let's also come in here and grab our smooth points tool and smooth some of these points out because I was just clicking them without really pulling out any anchor points. So this is going to make it a lot easier. Now I'm going to come down here to a little bit into the shadow, kind of where his back is, maybe right about there. And if you find it easier, you could put this kind of right where the shadow meets the body. It's just totally up to you kind of how you want to handle that. Okay, that's looking good. Let's add another point right in here. We'll just come up here where we had our smooth points tool, grab our add points and just click. And that's going to add a smoothed point for you. We'll just put that into place. And you want to do this right on the edge of the shirt. It might be tempting to cut the shirt up a little bit higher so that you can see more of the guts, but that is going to be extremely difficult to get any kind of point consistency. Now, one other thing you could do is maybe move it down just a little bit to the inside of the shirt, just barely, like this. And then grab these little points here, these little red lines that stick out, and it'll allow you to feather your mask a little bit. So you got to make sure you grab it a little bit past the end there. Right there. You can see that's going to give you a little bit of leeway. It's definitely going to help over here on the side where the shadow is. Okay, so overall, this looks pretty good already. We will need to transform our background plate, our clean plate a little bit, but overall, we've already got a pretty good idea of what this is going to look like without the zombie legs. Okay, so now all you have to start doing is coming in here to your Bezier 2 and setting keyframes to move along with your zombie. And this process is going to take a while. Now, if you were going to shoot this yourself and you had access to maybe some kind of a green or a blue screen, you could use it to make something that you would wrap around your actor's legs, and then you would be able to just really quickly key out the legs that you are seeing, and you don't have to rotoscope it, which makes a huge difference in the amount of time it takes. But if you don't have access to something like that, then you will probably have to just rotoscope it out by hand, which, you know, put on some music, listen to something that you like, and just kind of relax and make the best of it, because everybody's got to do a little bit of rotoscoping every now and then. And I will tell you that the movements of the zombie are pretty jerky, so you're probably going to need to do quite a bit. So probably the best way to go about it is to go about every 10 frames or so, just to make sure that you're maintaining your point consistency. And then you can just kind of move along with it and then go back in between those and adjust to make it fit a little bit better. So you see, I've already set up a few there. Now I'm going to go to frame 20, and you can see he's still holding about the same shape, but I just need to move the whole thing. And it's best if you can select all those points by left clicking and dragging like I did, to try to get that into place, because that is going to make a big difference for your point consistency. It's going to look a lot better, so you don't get that swimming effect by doing it in this way. Okay, so hopefully you've rotoscoped something before and you kind of know what this entails. If not, you can watch some of our Nuke rotoscoping courses. We have several different ones that you could choose from, and just get some practice. But this is going to take quite a while to get all of these frames finished. So I would just say take a little bit of time to do this and come back in the next lesson and I'll already have it done. So if you don't want to do it, you can just let me do it for you, and then pick up in our project files, and then we'll pick up from there and we'll get our clean plate tracked to the background. So stick around and I'll show you how to move this up and have it move with the shot in the next lesson.